All right, so here is a think, pair, share problem using what we've learned so far about quartiles and interquartile range and the five number summary and getting those values using your calculator. In this think, pair, share, you're going to use the previous example that I talked about as a model. So use that to help you work through the elements of this problem. Afterwards, you can check your answer. I've got the answer at the bottom. So if you got this answer and you require no further help, and you don't have to watch the rest of this video, but otherwise, you can come back to this video, unpause it, and hear my solution of it. So go ahead and pause right now and give it a try. Okay, so we're back. So let's work through this problem. So use the following 13 randomly chosen real estate prices in thousands of dollars. So here's our data set. We're going to sketch a number line showing all five of these components here. So let's look at part A. So here's our answer. So part A is we need a five number summary. And so we just need to enter these values into the calculator and use that to get our five number summary. And so the five number summary would be a minimum 114.95, a first quartile of 308.75, a median of 488.8, a third quartile of 649.0, and a maximum of 5,500. Right. Now, part B is to calculate the lower outlier boundary. So the lower outlier boundary is the first quartile minus 1.5 times the interquartile range. Okay, so we haven't calculated the interquartile range yet. And the interquartile range is a third quartile minus the first, which is going to be equal to the third quartile is 649, and the first quartile is 308.75. And so the interquartile range, when you use your calculator to take 649 and subtract from it 308.75, that should give you 340.25. So that's your interquartile range. So the lower outlier boundary is going to be the first quartile, which is 308.75, minus 1.5 times this new value that we calculated, 340.25. So we get a lower outlier boundary of negative 201.625. All right, we will plot that here in a second. So now part C is now to find the upper outlier boundary. So the upper outlier boundary is the third quartile plus 1.5 times the interquartile range. So the interquartile range we calculated already, so we can just kind of pull that down and use it. The third quartile is 649 plus 1.5 times 340.25. And when you enter this expression into your calculator and simplify it, that should come out to 1,159.375. All right. Now for part D, let's go ahead and make our number line in order to identify outliers. So here I'm going to just make my number line. And let's put in 0. And then our lower outlier boundary is negative 201.625. So our lower outlier boundary right here at negative 201.625. And then let's just put up here our upper outlier boundary, and that is at 1,159.375. All right. Now let's look for some of our other values. So do we have any values that are less than negative 201? Well, we're not going to find any of those because these are housing prices. Okay. And so a price of a house, I guess, could be $0. Okay. If it was gifted, but you're never going to have a house price that's a negative number. Okay. So we're not going to have any outliers here on the lower side of things. Okay. Or not. And as you can see, as we look at the data set up here, none of these values are negative to begin with. So we're okay there. But what about this upper outlier boundary? Do we have any values that are close or above 1159.375? So this helps on your calculator if you go ahead and sort this list. And we've talked about sorting datums in a data set on your calculator before. So it helps to sort it because you can see these values just are not sorted. We do have our maximum value of 5,500. Okay, that's right here. So 5,500 is going to be up here. 5,500 is larger than 1,159. So this value is going to be an outlier. All right, so what is our next highest number? Let's see if there's more than one outlier. So the next highest number, if you sorted it, would be 1,095. So where's 1,095 here? 1,095, let me get rid of that. 1,095 is going to come out just under the wire. So that's going to be right about here. 1,095. 1,095 is less than 1159. So, any value that is above the upper outlier boundary, that's an outlier. Any value that's below the lower outlier boundary is an outlier. But everything in between is okay. So this value of 1,095 is in between our upper and lower outlier boundaries. So that is okay. So this value here is the only outlier that we've got. So that is our identified outlier. It's 5,500. So part E is to remove it and recalculate the 5-number summary. So you can go into your calculator, remove 5,500, rerun the one variable stats, or just go over to the data tab and look at the 5-number summary. And you should get a minimum of 114.95 that is not changed, a first quartile of 308.75 that is not changed. The median has changed, that is 483.9. The third quartile has also changed, that is 607. And the maximum used to be 5,500, now the maximum is 1,095. All right, so that is kind of applying everything that we've learned about quartiles here in this final think, pair, share. Let me know if you have any questions.